Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Martin Luther King Day. We are here for Married to Medicine. Go ahead and do me a favor as we jump into this and hit the like button. We begin with a montage, as always, of the ladies. Sweet Tea and Dr. G are matching as they take a walk in the neighborhood. Contessa is talking to one of her patients about how good her blood pressure looks. Phaedra is looking at fabrics with her son. Why do we always just see her one son? Where's the other one? Does he not like to be filmed? It just had me wondering. Toya is fussing about empty water bottles, and Eugene is encouraging his son Ashton to do more than just the bare minimum. If he's supposed to read 15 pages a day, then go above that. Toya feels like now that the Met Gala is over, that they need to do something fun with the ladies. So she wants to have a baby shower for Stormy, her Birkin bag. Eugene's face is mine in that moment. Eugene is a good guy, you guys, but sometimes I wish that he would speak up more. Now, I don't know what he does off camera, but on camera, he seems to support Toya sometimes in her antics. I get that she has been working a lot and she's probably done well with her wine line, and this show has helped as well. But I absolutely hate that Toya continues to remind me of how irresponsible she is when it comes to finances, and how because of some of her choices, she has put a strain for years on her husband. Because if you guys remember, with that tax debt that happened more than once, he was the one putting in multiple hours working, and he was the one stressing himself out, and he was the one who was putting his health at risk because he wasn't getting an adequate amount of sleep and things of that nature to take care of Toya's irresponsible financial habits. So knowing that and seeing her make a big deal out of this bag, something that was supposed to be funny, just doesn't seem right to me. Don't get me wrong. I have expensive bags, but please understand, I did not spend thousands on a bag. Understand that, my little Michael Kors bags, because that's about the highest level I get. I got them when they were on sale. Or it was gifted to me. We're not spending a whole bunch of money on no bags. I got real life bills that need to be paid. So Ashton is even talking about how with the bag, her personality is changing. It's a joke, but it's not cute because you're doing all of this in front of your son. So she wants him to make these smash burgers that he's really good at making. And Eugene and Ashton feel like if she could pay $30,000 or over $30,000 on a Birkin bag, then she should be paying him by the hour. And I agree. Pay your child. Show him that you appreciate him. She said that the party is not just to celebrate the bag, but new beginnings. They probably are going to think that she or someone around her is pregnant because she always wanted a girl, is what she says. We go to Dr. Jackie's. Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, Quad, and then later Simone are at the house having this meeting to talk about Phaedra. Apparently, they collected a total of $54,993.30 at the gala. So some people have turned in their money. And others haven't, despite them handing this man over an oversized $100,000 check. We find out that Jackie got an email from the man who bid $4,000 on Phaedra. He basically decided to take his money back. I don't like that. Simone arrives, and Heavenly is trying to figure out, why did you pick Phaedra over me to do this thing? And Jackie thought that Phaedra would be able to deliver because she presents herself as this person who has all these contacts and is associated with various networks, and she has all this money that she, is on a lot of shows and a lot of blogs, and she thought that she would be able to help get the money in. That was her sole motivation. So Heavenly's like, yeah, she says all of that, and she acts like she's real grandiose and she has all this money, but she didn't deliver. So per Quad's estimates, Phaedra owes $51,169.70. I personally see that they're joking about this and stuff, but I'm looking at all of them with a side eye. Because if your purpose in doing this was to raise money for that man, he should have left with funds in hand. Everybody should have wrote out personal checks to his organization and it should have been done. He should have got a legitimate check rather than that blown up check. If you guys couldn't have done it, then production, the ladies, the many doctors that were in the building, someone should have done it. Because you got Toya who's spending 30 something $1,000 on a bag. Meanwhile, we're talking about an auction that is for a cause that is very important for Black women dying after childbirth, something that has been a thing, something that's happened in various families, or we may know someone. I myself do know someone who passed back when I was younger after giving childbirth, and she left back her husband, 2 kids, and a newborn. She died from internal bleeding. I was in elementary school when this happened because I remember going to the funeral, and I remember because it was one of my dad's really, really close friends whose wife had passed, sitting there as this man was so full of emotion because of the tragic loss of his wife, who he thought he was going to be able to take home and enjoy his wife and his new baby. Meanwhile, instead of being able to do that, he had to bury his wife. So y'all are making light of this and joking around about it, but it's not a good look in my opinion. So the ladies are making fun of Phaedra and they're imitating her. And I just feel like the bottom line is, Jackie, call Phaedra and tell her how much she owes the guy so she could personally write the check to him and have it sent. So we see Sweetie, Dr. D, Dr. G, Dr. Simone, Dr. Mimi, Stevie, Dr. Contessa, and Dr. Scott meet up. Sweetie says that one of the things that she loves about Mimi is Mimi and her husband are millennials, and millennials are needed in this group. I don't know if that's a dig to the age thing or not. I feel like you can have fun whether you're millennials or not. I hang out with all generations, and let me tell you something, those baby boomers, they are the best. Like if I hang out with church after church with some people, I'm gonna hang out with them because they give the best advice, they have the best time, and they love to be able to live life. So for me, why you talking about the millennials? Oh yeah, my generation is cool, but give me them baby boomers. So they talk about, Contessa says Stevie was the MVP because he bought that little dish that Quad and Heavily made. He was like, I didn't buy the dish, I donated. I can appreciate that. He's an ex-NFL player and that's what he did. So they say how another psychiatrist is needed in the group because they don't listen to Dr. G. I personally wouldn't be listening to Dr. G either. Not to say he's not good for other patients, but me personally, after some of the stuff that I've seen, I don't respect Dr. G. I just don't. So Sweetie apparently has been doing this thing for age gap relationships where she's been advising these women. So she's going to have an age gap event because she wants to normalize age gap dating. This isn't anything new. Age gap thing has been around for a long time. It's just that most people who are in relationships with age gaps don't bring it up. I remember my mom and my stepfather, they were 18 years of a difference in age, and I thought she was crazy when she married him because of that age difference. But, to each his own. I'm not knocking. It does work for some. I have a cousin whose mom and dad have a significant age gap, I think like 15 years, and they've done a phenomenal job. So it varies for different people. But my thing is, this is all Sweetie has to say is that, women have been hitting her up trying to figure out how they can, get themselves someone who's older. It's giving off very much, even though she's trying to present it as something else. And y'all tell me how you feel about it. It's giving off, I'm a sugar baby, he's my sugar daddy, but I'm not going to say that. Sweetie is the one who always wants to bring attention to the fact that she's younger. She loves being able to say that she has a much older man, and he loves to say that he has a much younger woman. They just keep talking about it, and I don't feel like once she said it one time, that was enough for us. So Dr. Contessa is over talking about it too, and she changes the subject on how Dr. Mimi and her husband Scott started dating. And Scott says, we lived in the same apartment building. Our windows faced each other, so sometimes we could see into each other's apartments. It didn't really say how they met, though. Y'all, are you saying that you met at the apartments? Contessa feels is a little stalkerish. He's like, I was in that apartment building. I just walked away from the NFL. It was her first year in residency. They got together. It's been 10 years. They have a 6-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. Simone lets them know, Cecil and I have been married for 28 years. Marriage isn't always easy. And this group, not the people at that table, but the group in general, helped them stay together. They're having a couples trip to Key West, and she's inviting them along with everybody else will be coming. So the music switches up, and Simone says, I asked Heavenly to help me coordinate the trip in hopes that Heavenly will come with a softer approach. I don't feel like Heavenly should be coordinating anything. I feel like if you really want to get work done here, none of y'all should be coordinating it. You should hire a professional that deals with relationship counseling and have them come in. But because I don't even think Mimi and Greg are people that I would want to talk to. Give me a relationship expert that truly is an expert, even though Heavenly calls herself that, one that isn't biased and doesn't know them as a community. Of course, Heavenly and Contessa and Heavenly and Sweet Tea still aren't getting along, so they got issue with it. But I'm just over it. Like, what else do you got? Simone calls out how Sweet Tea's energy, Tisha's energy shifted, and that she needs to get over it. Tisha feels like Heavenly has continued to disrespect her relationship, and she just doesn't want it to continue. Let's be clear. This is a show. At this point, I don't feel like Tisha needs to get over it per se. But I do feel like she needs to find a balance and find a way to navigate through things, because y'all aren't hanging out together in real life. Your husbands may do it, but you ladies aren't. You're hanging out for the purposes of this show. You do not have to be friends. You do not even have to really interact with each other. And the fact that we're still talking about this situation is boring to us as viewers. Simone says, despite what you may have heard, Mimi, we're a great group of ladies. And Mimi's like, look, I'm going to judge for myself. Next thing. Tisha has her age gap event that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why you got all these unmarried people who are a part of this show at this event to ring a bell and to buzz. It's given what else happened that we didn't see. The space is super cute. It has a little carriage inside. We find out that, from Toya, that after Eugene and her had sex, he sent her a note that was like, do you like me? Yes or no? And that's how they started dating. Okay, Toya. So they're doing speed dating, and Phaedra is participating. She wants someone younger that she could have a good time with. As soon as I saw the guys, I was like, okay, this is where she met the guy that she's dating. So she said she wants somebody younger. She doesn't see herself getting married. She doesn't want to get married. To me, Phaedra was looking for someone to bring on this trip. Now, if she, has something more that's came from it, good for her. But I don't think that was her original intention. So Phaedra's opinion changes about the guys once we're told that they're supposed to be Greg's friends. I don't see how that 30-year-old that Phaedra got could be his friend. Not to say it wouldn't happen, but how did they meet? I want to hear that. Maybe we'll hear more about it on the trip. So the men come in, most of them looking like they're the same age as the ladies. Some of them have a difference because she has 50-something-year-olds there, 30-something, 40-something, like it's an array of guys. So Tisha announces that her and her husband are 23 years apart. And the guy who Phaedra ends up picking, he's like his mouth is open. They are in love, and it's not a sugar baby or a sugar daddy relationship. And Toya is like a lot of us, me, myself, who isn't buying it. She's like, girl, bye. Ain't nobody trying to be with no old man unless you're trying to have some financial stability. You want to be financially safe. She said no one wants wrinkly things. I do feel like there are people who genuinely want to be with older men. I just don't feel like it's something that they seek out the way she's making it seem like a lot of 40-something-year-olds will be looking for a 60-something-year-old. I can't see myself as 40 looking for somebody that's my dad's age. It's just not, it's not a thing to me. Now, people have seen me and my father together in particular when he came to my job to surprise me, and they thought that that was my boyfriend because of how young my father looks. But no, I can't see myself dating a 60-something-year-old unless I didn't know his age. And I was surprised because there are some men that do not look like they're their age. So Phaedra ends up, talking to different guys. The first one, the 50-something-year-old, was really weird. He had a bag, and Phaedra was excited at first about the gift until he dumped the money on the table. It's given very creepy. It was some weird guys in there. Some of them, it really did act like, okay, you don't need to be with people your age because of how young you're acting. So she meets the 30-year-old, I think his name was Cheek. I can't remember. Something with a C. He is African, but he was raised in France. She wants to know how old he is, and he's like, don't worry about that. I'm old enough. And she's like, yeah, that's right. Let your money show your age. Okay, Phaedra, we get it. You're into the money. Simone arrives, and she brings Heavenly with her, along with her. Heavenly in that laugh. And it just makes no sense. So Heavenly says, hello, how are you doing, Contessa? She's being cordial. And she says, good. And my mama is doing good too. Then at some point she rings the bell and asks if anybody has sage. This is what I'm saying about Contessa. You keep saying like Heavenly says things and does things, but you do things too because you poke. And then when she snaps at you, you get upset. What Heavenly is doing here may be seen as fake, but in this instance, I think that Heavenly is being cordial. There are people that I do not care for that I still say hello to because I've been taught manners. And I don't see her sitting there trying to have a conversation with her. She's just saying hello and she keeps it moving. But Contessa is going to keep acting like she's a victim. So Simone says, look, I brought Heavenly because, this is a singles event and she's a relationship expert. You're right. Tisha says bull. Tisha pulls Heavenly to the side. Heavenly should have pulled Tisha to the side. If you really want to make things okay, then pull her to the side. Even though you apologize before, y'all still got issues. So she pulls Heavenly to the side and she feels like, she's going to have to be the mature person. So they both say that they were not happy with things that each other said. That's the part that I think I have a problem with Tisha is that Tisha says some messed up stuff too. And Tisha isn't acknowledging it. Heavenly was wrong, but she's apologized to you. And I could be wrong, but I don't recall Tisha apologizing to Heavenly. I recall her making an excuse to Damon as to why she said what she said. But the point is, you said some stuff that was messed up. So Heavenly wants to move forward. T does not. T still feels like Heavenly isn't remorseful. Simone comes over and that Dr. Mimi comes over and Simone says, what can we do to move forward? Dr. Heavenly is like, look, to Dr. Mimi, because I told you she came over. I apologize. And Mimi was like, it's her event and you're coming in here and you're talking about, her tone. Cause she's like, her tone is wrong. I don't think that Tisha's tone was wrong in the beginning. I feel like they're both defensive of each other. Heavenly says, you don't even know me to say that my tone was messed up. Well, you don't know her either then. I feel like it was a little dig. And then, of course, Tisha says her famous, you can get the F out. I personally feel like it's not that deep. Heavenly doesn't go anywhere. Heavenly's like, I just wanted to come to this, this space so we could be okay as we went into, our trip. I don't want, the bad energy. I want us to move on. And Dr. Mimi tells her like some things take time and maybe she's not ready to accept your apology and maybe she isn't ready to move on. And it's true. She's not. But this isn't how you go about it when you're on a show. Phaedra makes her African match and he's already really comfortable with her because the way he scooped her up and had them arms like this with her butt sitting on top of him. Yeah, they're comfortable already with one another. For all we know, they might have known. Ain't no telling. Anyway, they're comfortable with each other and then another match is made. So Tisha is giving herself all this credit because she feels like she made a love connection. Time for the shower. Ashton is preparing food as his mom walks out with a cake. And he's like, really? Really, Mom, we're doing all of this? And she was like, yeah, the people are going to meet Stormy. All the ladies are trying to figure out who this shower is for as they come to the event. Jackie thought that maybe, Toya was pregnant. And Contessa feels like it would be a miracle for Toya to be pregnant. So she says, maybe it's a surrogate baby, maybe it's a shower for that. And then they talk about how, if King is buying Quad cars, maybe it's for quad. And Heavenly mentioned the car thing too. I want these people to get over the fact that this lady got a car from that man. It's a part of his business. He has it to do it, so it is what it is. Now, if it's a loaner, not a loaner, if it's a lease or not, we don't know. But either way, let that lady live. So Contessa feels like this could be a permanent relationship based on that gift and that she could be having a baby. As they arrive, Contessa's like, okay, I thought that maybe this was for Quad, but Quad is over here drinking. So, she's drinking wine. So that eliminates her. But Toya, you aren't drinking anything. So maybe it's you. So the subject of Heavenly comes up, and Contessa's like, we need to have on one-on-one because she keeps acting like everything's okay. And y'all are acting like she didn't say F my mom. I don't recall her saying F your mom. But, maybe I'm wrong. I recall her saying your mama, but, let me know down below because I don't remember. And I just feel like, Contessa, this is so much bigger than that. Because you said some messed up stuff too. And once again, you're not talking about the things that you said. So Contessa is looking at her and she's like, look, I took off work for this, so this better be something real. Mimi and Tisha show up. They really are like throwing Mimi into this dynamic because it wouldn't make sense to me for Mimi to come in if she just met them, but whatever. So Heavenly greets and hugs Tisha. After the speed dating event, we found out that Heavenly went out for the after party because Simone brought her to that too. She was like, she brought her and she was like, she has a name. Her name is Dr. Heavenly. So she's like, she brought Heavenly and she apologized to Greg and, Greg accepted it is what Heavenly says. And Tisha's like, at this point, I'm still watching her. Go ahead and watch her because y'all gonna keep having issues. So Heavenly's like, Contessa's a different situation though. And it is because Contessa and Heavenly were actually friends. I don't feel like Tisha and Heavenly were ever friends. I think that they got along because Heavenly knew she was coming on the show and because of their husbands. So Jackie calls on FaceTime through Heavenly's phone to let it be known that she cannot be there because she has a patient who has issues and has to go back in surgery. Then Toya comes out and she's like, don't worry, y'all. It's not a puppy, but it's resting. They're thinking it's going to be something big. This girl walks out with the bag covered up in an actual baby blanket, y'all. The ladies are looking like there's a case that she has her take the blanket off. Contessa take the blanket off and pull it open. And she takes the Birkin bag out of the wrap blanket. And the ladies look underwhelmed. And Ashton's just in the kitchen like this, shaking his head like, I cannot believe my mom did this. Contessa's like, is this your first one? And she's like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. So Heavenly doesn't agree with this. Heavenly's like, I'm not going to say too much, but I already had talks with, her about finances. And I just can't see myself paying that much on a bag. I'm with Heavenly because especially that one, I think her son said it's ugly. I wasn't impressed with the bag. Now, if any of y'all have that bag out there, to each his own, everybody's taste is different. But for me, I didn't like the bag. I got cuter bags than that are way cheaper, right? So, Simone says like, okay, she has 2 Birkin bags, but that's something that you keep as a private joy. Now, she didn't call it a Hermes. She called it something else. And she's like, it don't matter what I call it. Either way, it's something that you do in private. Toya says that she, didn't just want to celebrate the bag. She wanted to bring them together as a smiley occasion because it's not often that you see this. And Quad's like, it's not true. We're going to have, more of these. And I hope they do. I hope that they do have more smiley days because I'm going to be honest with you guys. When we come to watch TV and everything is drama and drama and drama and drama, it is draining to us as viewers. Like, that's not what we come here for. We come here to escape reality, enjoy watching you professionals expand businesses in your portfolio and show us how you're impacting the community with some trips and some good food and some laughs and a teeny bit of drama. We don't want a lot of drama and have storylines from the season before still being brought to us. Switch it up. You guys, let me know what you thought about this episode. If there's something that I didn't mention that you want to talk about, you know what to do. Put it down below. Until next time.